You know that feeling when someone asks how you're doing financially and you say, fine? Like, you're not broke, you're not drowning, you pay your bills mostly on time, you have a job, maybe even a decent one, you're keeping it together, you're doing fine. But here's the uncomfortable truth: fine is expensive, like shockingly expensive. And most people have no idea just how much that fine is actually costing them. My name is Chris, and I spend way too much time thinking about money and why people make the financial decisions they do. And I've realized that doing fine might be one of the most dangerous financial positions you can be in. Because when you're doing fine, you're not motivated to change anything. You're comfortable enough to keep going, but not secure enough to actually build wealth. And by the end of this, you're going to see exactly how that middle ground, that safe, unremarkable fine door gestalt, is quietly stealing your financial future without you even noticing. Let's talk about what doing fine actually looks like in 2026. You're making decent money, let's say somewhere between $50,000 and $90,000 a year, depending on where you live. You've got an apartment or maybe even a small house. You drive a relatively new car that you're financing because, well, everyone finances cars now. You go out to eat a few times a week because cooking every single night feels exhausting and life's short, right? You have subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, maybe a gym membership you use sometimes, that meditation app you swore would change your life. You buy decent clothes, not designer, but not cheap either. You take a vacation once or twice a year, nothing crazy, just something to break up the routine. And when you look at your life from the outside, it genuinely looks fine. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're living a normal middle class life. But here's what nobody tells you: that normal life now costs so much that it leaves almost nothing for actual wealth building. You're not struggling, but you're also not getting ahead. You're stuck in this expensive middle ground where you're spending everything you make just to maintain the appearance and feeling of doing fine. And the really insidious part, most of this spending doesn't even feel like spending. It's just life. It's what everyone does. Housing alone is probably eating up 30 to 40% of your income, maybe more if you're in a major city. Then there's the car payment, insurance, gas, maintenance. All told, transportation is another chunk. Food costs have gotten absolutely ridiculous, and when you're tired after work, ordering delivery for $25 or $30 seems reasonable in the moment, even though you're doing it 3, 4, 5 times a week. Those little subscription services, they're individually small, maybe $10 or $15 each, but you've got 7 of them, and suddenly that's another $100 a month just evaporating. And we haven't even talked about healthcare, which is its own financial nightmare. Even with insurance, you're probably paying hundreds every month just in premiums, and God forbid you actually need to use it, because then there's deductibles and co-pays and all sorts of fun surprises. The result is this weird situation where you look at your bank account at the end of the month and think, where did it all go? I didn't even buy anything major. But that's exactly the point. You know, you didn't need to buy anything major. The cost of just existing at a fine level ate everything. Then there's what I call the emotional spending trap. And this one's particularly brutal because it's tied directly to that doing fine mentality. Research shows that about 70% of Americans admit their emotions drive their spending decisions. And the top trigger, stress. And here's the vicious cycle. You're stressed because you're working hard and barely getting ahead financially. So you spend money on little treats and rewards to make yourself feel better. A coffee here, a new shirt there, that gadget you don't really need but want because you deserve something nice, right? You're doing fine, so you should be able to enjoy your life a little. But those emotional purchases add up to real money, and 76% of people who spend emotionally admit they overspend because of it. Some people even go into debt over it. So now you're stressed about money, which makes you spend emotionally, which makes you more stressed about money, and the whole thing just feeds on itself. And because you're still technically doing fine, bills are getting paid, nothing's falling apart, you don't feel the urgency to stop. It's comfortable enough to continue, but not comfortable enough to actually feel secure. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that honestly keeps me up at night thinking about it. The hidden cost of living like you're doing fine isn't just the money you're spending now, it's the wealth you're not building for later. Just every dollar that goes toward maintaining your fine lifestyle is a dollar that's not growing through compound interest. Let's say you're spending an extra $500 a month on things that feel normal and reasonable, eating out more than you need to, subscriptions you barely use, a slightly nicer car than necessary, impulse purchases that seem small in the moment. That's $6,000 a year. Now, if instead of spending that money, you invested it in a boring index fund averaging, let's say, 8% annual returns, in 30 years that would grow to over $700,000. $700,000. That's the actual hidden cost of doing fine, not the $6,000 you spent each year, the $750,000 you didn't build because you were too comfortable to change anything. And the worst part is, you'll never see that number on a bank statement. You'll never get a bill that says, cost of staying comfortable, $700,000. It just quietly doesn't happen while you're busy living a life that feels completely reasonable. And then there's the flexibility issue, which nobody talks about, but is absolutely critical. When you're living at the edge of fine, when your expenses have expanded to meet your income, you have no financial breathing room. You can't take a risk on a new job or career change because you need every paycheck to maintain your lifestyle. You can't start a business or take time off or make any bold moves because you've built a life that requires constant income to sustain. You're financially inflexible, and that inflexibility is its own hidden cost. Meanwhile, the person making the same income but living below their means, they have options. They have freedom. They can take calculated risks because they're not trapped by their lifestyle expenses. They can weather a job loss or economic downturn without panic. They can say no to things that don't serve them because they're not financially desperate. That freedom, that optionality, is worth more than any amount of eating out or nice clothes or keeping up appearances. Look, here's what I need you to understand, and I mean really understand. Doing fine is not a neutral state. It feels neutral. It feels safe and reasonable and like you're doing what you're supposed to do. But financially, it's actually a trap disguised as normalcy. It's expensive enough to prevent wealth building, but comfortable enough that you never feel the urgency to change. And the real cost isn't just the money you're spending, it's the compounding wealth you're not building, the flexibility you're not maintaining, the options you're not creating, and the financial security you're postponing indefinitely. The lifestyle that feels normal in 2026 is quietly pricing out your future while convincing you that everything's fine. And the most dangerous part? By the time most people realize this, they've lost decades of compound growth they can never get back. So if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm doing fine, I need you to ask yourself a harder question. At what cost? Because fine isn't free. It's actually incredibly expensive. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to stop optimizing for fine and start building towards something better. Not tomorrow, not when things calm down or when you make more money. Today, because the hidden cost of waiting is always higher than the visible cost of change, and honestly, you can't afford to keep paying it.